Beauty, are you ready to roll?
I'm ready whenever you are, my friend.
All right, let's do
So just hang
this.
up and you'll hit me back, or
Or
how
no,
do you?
just stay on. You just be on. We're already connected. Might as well keep it rolling.
All right.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. I have the one and only Jimmy Pop Colson on today. How you doing today, Jimmy?
I'm doing fantastic, my friend. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Now, I do say, okay, we're gonna get into this one a little bit later, but your tank is one of the nicest tanks I've ever seen in person for a home aquarium. Absolutely love your tank, and it
Thank
is a massive system. And you're going bigger, so this is gonna be even crazier. So we're gonna get back to this one a little later.
Yeah, we'll talk about the
Yeah.
new tank here soon. This is gonna fill up a lot of space just with this one right now.
Yes. Okay, so this guy is 600 gallons, right?
Yeah, 600 gallons with a 500-gallon sump underneath it.
Nice. And is it 6 feet long, 4 feet front to back, or what's the
Eight
dimensions?
feet,
8
eight
feet.
feet long, 4 feet front to back, 36 inches tall.
Wow. Now, the really cool thing is this one's kind of like a kind of a corner tank, I guess. Not quite a peninsula, but you can see it from two sides, which is really cool. It's kind of up by the bar.
Yeah, so you can see.
Absolutely stunning. I love your tank. So nice.
Thank you, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I love following your tank too, man. You're doing great.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. So, what actually got you into saltwater tanks in the first place? I know you've been in. I mean, I've read your book, so if people that don't know, do have an awesome book out. But what is the main thing that kind of made you want to have this chunk of ocean and like really sucked you into the hobby?
Well, I moved to Maui when I was 17 for a year, and I fell in love with the ocean. I was born and raised in California, but when I moved to Maui, I fell in love with the ocean just like to the neck. So my
Mhm.
first bonus I got from work, I went and bought a saltwater tank when I was making $10 an hour back in 1994, and haven't stopped reefing ever since. So
Love it. How big of a tank did you have back then?
it was a 45 gallon, my very first one, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I went 90, and then at first before I went into reefs, I started off with like African cichlids and Oscars, the freshwater thing, and it just never fulfilled what I really wanted.
Mhm.
And this is what I wanted. I wanted to grow fragments into large colonies, and then this tank, I've ran out of room now. I'm growing corals. I'm gluing corals on top of corals now, and I'm feeling bad about this, but there's stuff that breaks, and you just have to do what you have to do. And now that's why I just ended up purchasing a 20-foot long double bullet nose it's 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide. It's going to be in two separate houses.
Okay, wait, okay. This one still baffled me a bit. Explain how you're going to have a tank, the same tank in two different houses.
Okay, so I've got a guest house right here next to this tank. So where this
Mhm.
wall is right here, this will be ripped out.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into the guest house over here. I will be pulling out these doors, and then the tank is going to come through right this area. So it's going to be like 3 feet long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got the bullet nose on that.
Yeah.
So you're going to walk up here thinking that there's just this little 3-foot tank, and then it's going to be 20 feet long because we're going to extend this whole area into a living room, so that the
Nice.
living room will connect from here all the way over here. It'll have a fish room built behind it as well. So that's what we'll be doing here in the near future. And then you'll have the bullet part right here. So you're going to walk up to that, and you're
Mhm.
going to be like, oh, look at this nice little tank. And then you're going to look into it, and it's going to be like Alice in Wonderland, 20 feet long. And you're going to just be like mind blown.
That is going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to see this come to life. I did pull a couple of pictures off your Facebook post about it, so I'll pull those up later. So this tank is 600 gallons, which is already amazing. So this one's 4 feet of depth, which I think is really cool because most people's tanks, they're around 2 feet, and just the amount of distance front to back that you have of corals, like there's stuff hiding in the back you don't even see. That's amazing.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, yeah. Some of the nicer corals are in the back
mhm.
because I haven't been able to attack them and glue them and frag them and do all that other stuff because I don't like squeezing back there. That's why I'm doing a fish room in the next one. You learn from your previous tanks, and
Yep.
this tank taught me it was nice having something behind it, but
Mhm.
it wasn't enough. So I needed to build on like a 5-foot, 6-foot deep fish room to be able to put the skimmer and then this sump. I'll be moving the sump on over. So this is a 500-gallon sump under here.
So what all are you running for filtration on the current
I
600-gallon system?
Okay, I do have a skimmer going. My buddy Raj at MRC hooked me
Yep.
up with a skimmer. So let's go over here. We'll go
You
over
you,
here. And
you
we'll,
just
we'll
got
start.
this running recently, right? Because it wasn't
Yes,
running
I went
last year. Okay.
over 2.5 years with no skimmer, which is batshit crazy. Pardon my French. Sorry for
Yep.
all the children out there. I didn't mean that. So these were the quarantine tanks that I need to set back up. Here's the skimmer. So this is all right here. Just to give you an idea, we got a big MRC skimmer. You have one RO unit in here with two 55-gallon drums down here. Sorry, it's kind of dark back there. And
No
then you
problem.
have this fish water changing station in here. So I've got to have a tank this size, you got to have a big water changing station. So these are 225 gallons each. You have all your fun stuff over here, all your DI resins and everything else. These big old
Those are big filters.
oh yeah, those things are
Yeah.
huge. They should be able to last about a year, but with how many water changes I do, which I do one a week, 200 gallons.
You do 200 gallons a week?
Yeah, 200 gallons a
Ooh.
week because I'm too lazy to do less or more. So I just throw one of the bags in
Yep.
and
Now-
it's done. So I could still do that with a new tank, 2,000 gallons. I could still do the just 10% changes.
You'll still be good.
And then I just dose A and B. I'm setting up magnesium now because wasn't quite enough magnesium, even doing the water changes with the Red Sea. And then here's what I use for my A and B. I just use bulk reef supply.
Yeah. Okay. How much do you dose a day for that much acros?
About a gallon a day of each.
Okay.
And
So
then
much.
this has been my godsend, all this Chato and Calurpa and everything else. So I basically got a 500-gallon fuge down there.
Mhm.
And that's helped me through a lot of things that I've learned because I dealt with tank crashes so many times over the years, but I'm about 2 years in on, knock on wood, on no crashes. So
Nice.
but what happened with no crashes now is now my corals have just gotten out of hand, so I needed more space. And that the only thing I could think of is basically getting a 20-foot tank.
Nice. That's awesome. So a couple of people are asking, what do you do for a living? So you started and you own Prop Prosthetics, right? That's your company?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I started off in prosthetics and orthotics, making $7 an hour with no high school education in 1994, and turned it into the corporation it is now. We still are. My wife and I own 100% of that company. We're doing a filming for my wife's new company called Inspiration All. She's going to be selling inspirational boxes to women.
Nice.
With bracelets and necklaces and all this other stuff. And she's having the homeless shelter, the women that have been abused at Safe Nest, put these together so we could donate back to the community as well.
Oh, it's really cool. And what's her box or what's her company going to be called?
Her company is going to be inspirationallbox.com.
Nice.
So inspiration and then ALLbox.com.
Perfect.
And the website will be up soon and it'll be taking off in the next month or two.
Perfect. That's awesome. So someone else was just asking, do you do auto water changes or manual ones on it?
I like to do it manually. With this much coral and everything else, I get nervous with the whole auto, but it doesn't take me long. I got a 1-inch hose. I can do a water change on this tank, 200 gallons in less than a half hour.
Okay, nice.
So I just drain it out, or I use this water because there are other tanks in the house as well. We have a seahorse tank here, and then we have this 700 and some gallon cylinder tank. One of the lights just went out, so don't mind me. I just got a hold of the guys at AI, and I believe they're going to help me get this thing repaired. So
Nice, should be good. So this one's fish only, this tank, because you got all the inserts.
this one's Guantanamo Bay. This one has all the bad guys in it. You got your Huma Huma Noopa Noopa Apawa, clown triggers, puffers, angels. Now there's a queen angel just running away, swimming away from me right now.
Nice.
Let's see. There's a Hulu. He's the king of the tank. He's a jerk though.
Is he?
That's Mr. Jerk, right? Ask this clown trigger. He's scared of him. Let's see here.
So what's your
Oh, no,
favorite
there's
fish? What's your favorite predator
What's my
tank
favorite
fish? Yeah, for the non-coral
The
friendly.
favorite fish in here, probably the queen angel. I
Yeah.
just love them. They have the crown on their head.
Hmm.
Love the puffers as well. Here's a little blue face he's taking off. There's a clown trigger. I like the clown triggers as well. So yeah, it just doesn't look right in there because we're missing the light. But here we go. AI, I hope you're listening to this. I need that light fixed. So there you go. There's the cylinder tank. So when you first walk in the house, you
Nice.
see the cylinder. You walk over to your left. So the cylinder is my wife's tank.
Hmm.
This is my daughter's tank. So my little girl, Liliana,
Yep.
she wanted a seahorse tank. So, of course, being a good
Nice.
daddy, you have to get your daughter seahorses, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And then she has to have the nice little stuff like bounce mushrooms and stuff like that in here, you know, all that
She's
fun
been
stuff.
good. She's been a good kid. Gets bounce mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. And then she likes the dancing shrimp. We won't call them sexy in front of her, but they are dancing shrimp, right?
Nice. How old's
So
your
yeah,
daughter?
yeah. My daughter's 7 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
So each of you have your own tank. Okay,
Yes.
are they equally obsessed as you, or are you by far the most?
Oh, I'm nuts. It's past an addiction. It's an affliction. I know that, but my friends and family will tell you that however my tank looks is how I'm feeling inside.
It's
If my
true.
tank starts to crash, I start to crash. I feel bad, or maybe it's the tank's crashing because I'm crashing. So, it's kind of we're intertwined with our tanks. Us hobbyists that are like obsessed, our
Hmm.
tanks are a part of who we are.
Your tank
You know,
shining. It's a good day. If something's RTNing, it's just you're in a bad mood that day.
Oh yeah, no matter what, you're like, how did I lose that coral? I've had it for 5 years, and it just happens.
Hmm.
And just for all those my fellow reefers out there, don't get discouraged. It happens to the best of us. We all lose corals. We all get RTN. We can have a coral that's doing good for 5 to 7 years, and it can just die on a whim. That's just nature.
Yeah.
It sometimes doesn't take something to set it off. It could just happen. Something could brush up against it. Something could fall. My biggest problem is rose bubble tip anemones. You
Mm.
want to talk about the most evil thing you could put in your tank? I just gave away 16 of them the other day, and I got to rip out the rest. There's like 100 of them in here, and they're coming out of every single nook and cranny of this dang tank.
About
So
6 months ago, I went through that whole battle to evict them all from my tank because I just kept splitting and multiplying. And when there's one day, the next day there's two, the next day there's
yeah,
three. You're like, where are you coming from? I'm
I tried to
splitting.
chop one up the other day because it was touching some like a home wrecker and stuff. So I tried to chop him up, and he turned into 4.
It's
1 to
revenge.
4 the
I-
next
Inst-
day.
Insta karma.
Yeah, that's what I got. I deserved it. I totally agree with that. I didn't try to chop him up. I tried to cut
Yeah.
him out, but when I couldn't get him out, he's touching
Hmm.
these acros. He's killing them. It's kind of
Yeah.
one of those catch-22s. Like, you have no idea. I had a spear, citron goby in here before, and
Hmm.
I caught the biggest wrath from everyone that you can imagine. But they don't realize that the 2 citron gobies had killed thousands of dollars worth of coral over the years by laying eggs on them and
Hmm.
biting all the polyps. I tried to catch them in traps for 2 years, and when I couldn't do that, next
Yep.
step was, I made a homemade spear gun with my friend Dan Lee made it for me, and
Hmm.
I speared a citron in a 600-gallon
Like a
reef.
toothpick.
Yeah, it had a
Yeah.
little thing on the end. Oh, so
Yeah.
lighting. Here's what we're doing for lighting, everyone. We got
All right.
9 G4 Radeon Pros,
Mhm.
and we have 4 48-inch T5s. Basically, I put those on for a few hours a day just to give it a little bit of a different look.
Yep.
You don't really need them with the Pros, but I do
Mhm.
like the mixture. So yeah, 9 G4 Radeon Pros on here.
How
The Seahorse tank has 2 Radeon Pros on there as well.
how
Um,
how intense are you running your lights?
100%.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever part
Sanjay,
tested your tank? Like, do you know what it's at roughly?
no, I need to. Professor Yashi Sanjay is the one who told me he just threw his on 100%. And when he told me that, I put my faith into Sanjay any time of the day. So I did it as well.
Mine are at 65 or 60, but you also got an extra foot of water on my tank.
Yeah, well, my new one's going to definitely need 100% because it's 4 feet deep. But I'll be building it up. The acros, what I'm going to do, put 2 acro islands in it,
Hmm.
or 3 acro islands, 2 torch and hammer islands, And
Nice.
then I'm gonna put the whole base will be all mushrooms like recordias and bounces
Hmm.
and nicer zoas.
So
So I'm gonna be spreading it all. Yep,
you're gonna have
it'll be
different
a mixture.
islands of like themed islands.
Yes, themed
Nice.
islands. I know it's not gonna stay that way, of course, but
Hmm.
for the beginning, I want to see how that starts to evolve into a real reef.
Nice. What So what are you running for flow in this tank?
Right now, I've got 7 MP60s on it. I've got 6 gyres of the 6 of the big gyres, and the main pump is in a Biz A400.
Nice.
So it's
Lots
got
of
its
flow.
share of flow.
Are,
It's
are all those pumps turned up, or are they kind of in the middle somewhere?
they're all cranking, man. I know. When it comes to lighting and flow, I
Hmm.
just go big or go home with those.
Now, how about feeding? Do you feed crazy amounts to your tank? Like, do you feed your
Yes.
corals? Do you?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I feed let's see, I use LRS for my main food. I use mysis. I also use let's see, I'm using over here Reef. So I got
Hmm.
my Reef right there.
Nice.
Also supplement it with my other buddy stuff. So you know, Reef's great. Coral Frenzy's great too.
Hmm.
Just giving it a mixture of the two.
Yep.
I've been using Reef for a long time. I used Coral Frenzy before that, and now I'm kind of mixing it up a little bit.
Hmm.
And then I use LRS. Larry's a friend of mine as well. All these
Nice.
guys, Ken, you know, they're all good guys, man. So,
Hmm. That's
so
awesome.
yeah, giving them
Uh,
all a shout out.
Perfect. Rafiki was asking, are you running the AB plus schedule? Or
I'm just going straight 100%.
everything? All
Yeah,
channels?
100%. All channels, red, everything.
I
I'm just going
believe.
100% on
Okay.
everything. And
I believe they were saying, because I was talking to Ecotech a while back, if you have every channel 100%, I believe it mimicked like a 15 or a 20K halide or something along those lines.
yeah, it's very similar
Yep.
to this is a 20K right now, and this is really
Yep.
close to what my lights look like most of the time.
Okay. Nice.
So I just put it on 20K. So this is with no filters, as you can see. So you can see my ugly mug real quick. But yeah, no filters, no anything. This is just natural reef. You
Mhm.
can see everything, the movement,
Yep.
the other corals just going on up.
No, try holding your camera still for 1 sec. It's just getting all blurry. See if it
Oh,
clears
sorry.
back up. Yeah, no worries. Just curious to see. Kind of, it was good, then it's got a bit pixelated. Just, I don't know if it's from
Sorry, is it
moving or
still
just the connection.
pixelated?
Yeah, a little bit, but a little better.
Sorry about that, guys.
I'll,
Maybe we'll go away from the tank for a minute then and look at some other stuff.
someone else was asking, what do you feed the seahorses?
Seahorses, mysis, and then live brine.
Mm-hmm.
I mix it up with both of those. I also throw coral food in there as well for all the mushrooms, and I know I've got some scolies in there and stuff, and everyone's like, you can't keep those with seahorses. They've never messed with the seahorses. I've never seen that happen. So
Mm-hmm.
until I do see it happen, I'm gonna pretend like I can do what I choose to do with it.
Yeah. Someone else was asking, how high are your lights off the water?
I'd say a good 10 inches.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
about
fairly
10
shallow.
inches.
Okay. Can you, now another question. Can you access the back of your tank right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was going to say, because how hard is it being 3 feet deep and trying to like get around and place stuff and change it?
Well, you have this whole walking area back here on this
Nice.
side. And then if you come over to the other side, so I make it to where there's an L, but I just ended up moving all my Apex stuff over here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's both of my doses and all the different Apex stuff all tied in. Terrence came over here and helped me put this all together. And then
Nice.
my buddy Danny Williams just moved it over here. What I'm also using is the Trident. Everyone's talking about different things, and the Trident's been awesome. What I use it for, of course, it's great to know all your parameters and once you get it all dialed in. But the best thing that to me is if you get a swing, you're able to see it. You're able to see the Trident will just show you, even if the number's not completely 100% accurate. You're knowing, hey, it read 12 on ALK, and now all of a sudden it's at 15. Something's not right.
Yep. Okay, a couple of people asked about nutrient export in your sump. So you have a massive, massive refugium down there, and it's was it Clerpa or Chaeto you had?
It's mostly Clerpa. It used to be all Chaeto almost with a little bit of Clerpa. And over time, the Chaeto went bye-bye, and now it's almost all Callirpa.
How often do you harvest and take some out of there?
All the time I feed the other tanks, and I'll give it away to friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's good tank food. I throw it on top every day a little bit. Let them eat some live Callirpa daily, and
Nice.
I don't know. I think it all, just the whole natural aspect of it, I think it makes a big difference. You know, I don't use bio pellets. I don't use GFO. I don't do anything else like that. I just started using a skimmer again, which I know everyone thinks I'm crazy, and I'm gonna tell you that MRC skimmer is a beast, though. That thing is,
it's huge.
yeah, it's rated for 3,000 gallons, so it'll be going on the new tank.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, someone else, before I forget it, they're asking how big's a seahorse tank?
90 gallons.
90 gallons? Nice. That's a pretty good size.
Yeah, it's 90 gallons. You want to have it to where they can swim up and down, or they'll end up getting gas bubbles. I learned that the hard way. I had them in little frag tanks, and I thought I had a seahorse pregnant. And when it passed away, I felt so horrible that I ended up buying a tank just to make sure I could keep the other ones, you know, in better shape.
Oh, it's a good excuse to get a new tank.
Yeah, and it's my daughter's tank, right?
Yep. Gotta keep them happy. Any favorite corals in your tank?
Favorite corals.
Can you even pick out of that many?
That green one back there, I got that. It was a Reef Asia. I'm sorry, Rainbow Passion, and it's been called by other names as well. Let's see, you got your right there, that greenish purple one. That one is a Rainbow Loom from Reef Asia.
Nice.
Let's see, cherry bombs. You can see that pink one right there. It's a huge cherry bomb colony. I love the old school stuff like the Oregon Tort. There's nothing bluer than an Oregon Tort. And when you get those black polyps on it, it's amazing. The one above that, that's Acrolandia by two guys. Then you got Ding Dang Millie, Acid Trip Millie right there. Let's see. Let's come back over this way. Go to some other ones. That's a highlighter acro from Dynasty that I really love. Some worldwide coral pieces. I don't remember the names, but they're amazing. An AX piece back there. Matty B's rainbow, his rainbow right there. You can see there's some other ones. The one that I wish that I could destroy is this Efflo right here. That whole flat piece where you see there's nothing else, that's all Efflo. He's about 3 feet long now. And he has destroyed more colonies than probably global warming.
Yikes, eh?
Yeah.
The one nice thing about you having a bazillion corals is when you upgrade to this 2,000 gallon tank, it's not going to look empty.
No, exactly. There's a lot of these that are growing over each other. I'll be able to frag and move around. And I do like a lot of fish. And that's something that between the islands, you'll be able to see the fish going from island to island and everything else. So I'm so excited about this new build. This one, I've done what I tried to do with this. I love my tank more than anything, but at the same time, I just don't have the room to do what I want to do. I've got my buddy Matt Dudley out in Florida. I ordered some corals from him that he's holding on for me for the new tank when it's all set up. Got a few other friends that got some pretty crazy stuff going for me.
Nice.
There's someone at the front door, darling.
I'm just going to pull up a photo of that you post on Facebook of that tank you're picking up.
Yes, sir. Feel free.
So just to show you guys, 20-foot long, kind of bullnose on both sides of it. So it's kind of the racetrack tank. That one was on an episode of Tanked a year or two back. So I remember this one setting it up. So this one is going to be a massive, amazing tank. So the tank is already built. This is one that he's picking up from a business. And 2,000 gallons. It is going to be crazy.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to have such a great time with that tank.
How are you going to move that thing in your house?
All these corals make it in there alive. Yep. Yeah, dude. And then the like having that tank to where it's going to be split between the houses, and you look in there and you're going to think that, oh, this is a nice 3-foot tank, and then you look inside it and it's 20 feet long. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Who's making the new tank? So this one's already pre-made, but it was made by ATM. Where is it going in the house? Is it going to be Right,
I'm building on right behind where this tank is now.
Mm-hmm.
This wall is going to be ripped out, and then it's going to be built behind it. So we're getting an extra 400 square foot on the living room, and then we're going to be ripping out all these walls
Mm-hmm.
and making this a lanai style house. So it'll all be glass with a double-sided fireplace. So that'll
Nice.
all be opened up. You'll be able to walk through this area right here and go into the new fish room.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm past excited. I walked in there the day after I found out that tank was for sale, and I got it at such a killer price. I'm gonna keep that to myself though. But I got it at such a good price that if I would have passed it up, I would have been a moron.
You could have not have said no. You just couldn't. It's not
No.
even an option.
That not even an option. You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way I could have said no to that.
I would have said yes too. I probably couldn't afford what the water changes, but I would have done it.
I could have turned around and probably sold it for 5 times more or whatever. But
I know. The wife comes home. This whole wall of the house is tank.
you're like, it's an investment. It's better than Bitcoin.
Right? Exactly. Someone was saying, please tell me his wife loves this tank stuff too.
She does. She does.
Yep.
She's the first time I ended up getting a huge tank, and I owe that to my wife, believe it or not. She wanted a cylinder tank for the living room, and I found someone in St. Louis that was selling one.
Mm-hmm.
He purchased that, and he had this tank right here, the 600-gallon Reef with a 500-gallon sump.
Yeah.
And my brother Eli Christian went across the country to St. Louis and picked up the tanks for me. And when he picked up the tanks, brought them back, my wife choosing her tank ended up finding me this tank.
Yep.
And I gave the cylinder to my brother already, the other cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, he's setting that one up out in Cali. He's been posting pictures. He's just getting back into reefing again. He's been posting pictures of his Nano and stuff. And people have been ridiculed. It's beautiful. And people have been ridiculing, oh, well, those are just these kind of Zolas or something like that. People have brothers that have this too. And he can get any frag from me at any time. So be nice to people that are newer in the hobby. Be nice to people that might not have something as nice as you have, because you never know. You might not get another frag from that same person. Because, yeah, no, my brother is a good guy. Eli Christian.
That's awesome. Does he live down there or somewhere else?
Yeah, he's in California. And there's been a lot of people that have been helping him out there too. They buffed his cylinder. They've been giving him corals, Richard McPhelps. There's a lot of good people in our hobby.
Nice.
So.
It's very, very true. It's an amazing community. I don't know if you want to answer this one, but someone goes, ask how much he estimates he spent on coral.
I plead the fifth, because if I didn't, I would have a straight jacket on and I'd be in a mental institute, or my wife would divorce me. So let's just leave it at that.
Sometimes this is better not to know. Ignorance is bliss.
But yeah, none of these colonies came in as colonies.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you see in here was bought as little frags and turned into 2 to 3 foot colonies.
Mm-hmm. How old is this tank? How long did it take to get from the little frags? Like, did you upgrade from another tank to the 600, or did you put all these into here?
I was in a 500 cylinder, but I didn't have many of these acros. Maybe about 3 or 4 of them that are still in here. So this is a 7-year-old system, and pretty much every coral in here started off as a frag when it made it into this tank.
Nice. That's
so
amazing.
Everything, yeah, people take the easy way out. My favorite part of this hobby is watching a frag turn into a colony. And that's why I had to upgrade the tank, because now I'm at all colonies. I don't get to have as much fun with the stuff that I used to have fun with.
Yep. So now you go bigger and you got more space to play with to do it again.
Exactly. I could spread these guys out and watch them grow into 5-foot colonies or something like that.
You're going to be dosing in like 4 or 5 years from now. You're going to be dosing like a 5-gallon bucket a day. It's going to be ridiculous. You're going to need a Colson reactor, by the way.
The whites just came on. So lights
there we
came
go.
Back from the 20K to what it. So this is the regular lighting at this time of day.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, here my wife's filming us. Hi.
Video inception.
Yes. I'm being filmed. We've been filming all day commercials for her company that we were just talking about. So now she's filming us doing this. So
perfect. I like the video inception.
Yeah, I love this colony. There's a tropical hurricane and tropical thunder.
Is that a chalice or no? What is that?
Oh, that's a Monty. These are the Reef Raff Asia Monties. There's that one, and then you got the one with the green polyps.
Hmm.
Similar to, like, there's so many named ones, and then you got the green and red, to where they splice together
The worldwide grafted.
the grafted one. I got grafted in here everywhere. So
Now, I remember talking to you before, and you had like duplicates of like crazy cool corals all over the place.
oh
And you're
yeah,
like, ah, one broke off, so I just threw it somewhere else, and it grew into a second colony. And
yep,
yep,
everywhere. There's so many duplicates and triples, and then there's every kind of name colony. You name a high-end acro, probably it's in here somewhere. And there
now,
might be duplicates or triplicates or whatever else.
mhm. That's good to have backup colonies in case something ever happens to one.
Triplicates. What the
Backups of your backups. I like how you work.
right? You got to have
Yep.
backups of your backups.
Yeah, someone was saying you used to have a calcium reactor, but could never get it dialed in when back to dosing. On your big tank, it would almost be worth doing a calcium reactor to do like half of it and then do 2-part on top for the second half of it, just to kind of cover your main basis.
I just don't feel comfortable with calcium reactors. My last one I gave to
Yeah.
Terrence,
Hmm.
just due to the fact that if it's not dialed in, it could throw everything off. And me, I'm a firm believer of the KISS system. Keep it
Hmm.
simple, stupid, because I travel a lot. Uh, you know, I don't have as much time as I'd like to have. And yes, I do all my own water changes. I do my own maintenance of it. I got a buddy named Danny Williams and a buddy named Josh Hardy that works over at Aquatic Treasures. They've helped Aquatic Treasures, Sonny Brunk, and Josh Hardy's helped me for years, and Danny Williams just started helping me out as well. So I do have some people that back me up when I'm out of town, or if I need electrical done,
Hmm.
need Apex programming done. So it's nice having those guys to back me up, because I can't do the plumbing. I'm not doing anything electrical. I'd electrocute myself within the first 5 minutes, probably.
Yep.
I'm a novice when it comes to all that. So, yeah, the electrical, plumbing, and Apex programming, those are left for the guys that know what they're doing.
Hmm.
The rest of the stuff is me.
So a question we had earlier was, do you test your nutrients at all? Do you know what your phosphate nitrates are at?
Yes.
Or,
Nitrates are about 5 right now. Phosphates
mhm.
are non-existent.
Okay,
I do big water changes, 20% a week. So,
that's huge.
and now I got the skimmer going again. I had to do that because even with the big water changes, my nitrates started to rise finally.
Hmm.
They were getting into the 20, getting up there. So you start losing a little bit of color. The corals like it, but,
Hmm.
it's just changing your whole tank. If
Yeah.
you haven't had that for that long, you don't want it now. See, look at that blue on the Oregon torque. That's
Oh, it's
going to be
beautiful.
I love Oregon torts. I
Hmm.
will. That'll always be one of my favorite corals. And
Yep.
then I wish I could. Oh, I wish I could get in there a little bit closer so you guys could see all the polyp extension on everything. But yeah, like you said, 4 foot deep tank. You're not going to see much.
No, but it's cool though, like because you almost don't notice it first until you really look, and all of a sudden you're like, those corals go back and back and back and back.
Yeah, there's some that are like 10 to 11 deep. I count, like, going from right here, 1, 2, 3, and you're going 11 deep through the 4 feet. You got all these different acros and everything else, and I think that with how many acros I have in here, I
Hmm.
could pretty much stop the majority of the new 20-foot tank just by spreading them out some.
I love that because it's gonna look like a decent reef tank from day one. It's not gonna look barren for 2 years, right?
No, it'll have colonies that are already 2, 3 feet long in there and stuff. So,
That's awesome. Producer Reef was saying, tell us about how you use the purple clove polyps to keep your acros in check.
oh yeah, that's one of those fun things. The clove polyps will grow in between your acros, and what that does is it keeps them away from each other on the base, so they'll just start to grow upwards. It wasn't done on purpose. I hated them just like everyone else, but now I use them as a form of separating the acros at the base. And when you want to get a little bit bigger base, you throw some tuxedo urchins in here. They eat the clove polyps, and that leaves you a little more space. It'll grow, but then they won't eat all of them, so it'll grow back in between when they leave that area. But you'll have a little bit bigger of a base. That's how
Mhm.
I've gotten away with, like, everyone said, oh, all your acros are going to kill each other. They haven't all killed each other like everyone thought. I have lost some. I'm not going to even lie about that. I got acros growing over acros everywhere, but there's a lot of them that are being separated by those clove polyps. And then when I want a little more space, I throw some new tuxedo urchins in, and voila, I have a little more base on the acros.
Nice. That's a good way to do it. Which was there any specific tuxedos or just any tuxedos in general seem to eat them?
Yeah, just I got the tuxedos. Let me find one in here real quick to show you, guy.
Are they
Well,
like
I know
the
I just saw one of them in the seahorse tank. So,
red ones,
um,
blue ones, pinky ones?
let me see. It's just the regular ones that you can get at any fish store.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm gonna walk over to the seahorse tank right here.
I tried that before. I tried a urchin, didn't touch him. I tried a different urchin I borrowed from a buddy for a couple of days. Didn't touch him. Like I gave him away, but
This guy right up. I don't know if we can see him. He's like right in front of us.
yeah.
Well, not the bounce. He should be up right. There he is. There we go.
Okay. So just the blue and whitish
Just
pinkish
the
guys.
blue.
Nice little flower hat.
Yep, just that guy. Yeah, he's got all the zoanthids on him. So yeah, you kind of lose your zoanthids, but they might spread somewhere else. Like I used to have the biggest colony of Rasta zoanthids that have been overgrown over there, but they've made their way into different areas of the tank, as you can see, like right here. They're back in the corner over there. They're pretty much everywhere. And that's one of the other things that I love is that sometimes a lot of these acros, you didn't even plant them somewhere else. There's a piece that broke off, maybe caught a current, landed over there. I've got acros on different sides of the tank that I didn't glue because I know exactly what I glued.
Yeah.
And,
Just surprised one day.
oh, yeah. It's like, wow, I didn't know that was over there. Or you'll find something in the sand bed that you lost like 2 years ago back there. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
the new reef isn't going to be solid like that, like this. I don't want a solid reef, like a long reef. It's going to be islands. And then the spaces in between will have smaller islands with like the torches and everything.
That'd be really cool. So is all your rock and corals, everything from this tank going into it, and then you'll just add more onto it?
Yeah, this is all going to go in there. I've grown all this. This is all like part of my ecosystem. So I want this to be a part of the new one too. This is, and even like the ones that I don't like, I still want it because I grew it. You know,
That's true.
It's one of the hardest things. Like I love fragging and doing things like that, but like to get rid of a whole colony, even if it's invasive and it's taking over things, it's hard. You've grown it.
You grew it from this little tiny stick, right? This little tiny frag, and
like how do you get rid of your children, right?
You got a very big family. Your family is very beautiful.
Right? You got to make sure they're all compatible.
So do you have much for LPS in there right now, or is it like 98% acros?
The most of it is definitely. Hold on one second. Decline. Okay, sorry about that. Someone was trying calling me. So it's about 85% SPS. I've got like this torch right here. You know, I've got some space invader pectina, some lobos.
Got a big clam.
Yeah.
Got some acans, micromeses.
Duncans. We've got the
Goniapora.
Big gonies.
Nice.
Those things are getting huge.
So some of like your butterflies and some of the other fish in there, they don't touch them? They've been pretty safe?
The butterflies, here's one of the things that I've had to deal with. I had some Aptasias, so I put that copper band in here, and he's destroyed so many acans and everything. So pick your poison. Do you want the Aptasias or do you want to have less LPS? So the copper band more than likely will not be making it into the new reef.
Yep.
You know, he'll end up in that cylinder in Guantanamo Bay because that's where he belongs.
How are the pyramids? I've debated those so many times.
I never had a problem with the pyramids picking.
Okay.
And these guys are beasts, and I've had them since day one almost. So these guys are about 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I've also got a couple of crosshatch triggers in here, which everyone thinks I'm crazy. Here's the female. Oh, she just took off. Where are you?
You get pretty easy.
Yeah, wow, she was fast. There's a couple gem tangs in here, black tang. I love. You were asking favorite fish, Achilles tang. That was she's been my nemesis forever.
Hmm.
Um, I had one for 3 years, and then I couldn't keep one more than 3 months for years and years and years. But this one's almost a year and a half old now. So she's the second one that I've had that's done well.
Oh,
But
right
other
on.
than that, don't get an Achilles tang unless you're a very, very established reefer with a lot of flow.
Yeah.
Flow is very important for the Achilles. She'll go right in front of the power heads, the MP60s, and
Hmm.
just go from one to the other to the other. She just needs flow nonstop.
Nice. No, good to know. A lot of people struggle with them, and maybe lack of flow is one of their issues.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Oh, it's beautiful, buddy. Beautiful.
Thank you very much, my friend.
The video doesn't do it justice. Your tank is just gorgeous
Yeah,
in person.
I'm sorry. When the new one, it'll be all buffed out. It's gonna look great, and yeah, and I'll have the new iPhone. It just got shipped out today, so
Nice. Beauty. I'm definitely gonna have to talk you back into a stream when you get the new one going. That one's gonna be amazing to see this come to
oh
life.
man, I can't wait to show you guys the new one when it's all built in and everything.
Mhm. Awesome. Love it. If you guys have any other questions in the chat, let me know. Hopefully I didn't skip anybody's. I'm trying to get them as we go about it. Does he do social media? You just do random Facebook live streams of your tank.
And then I got a little page called Las Vegas Reef Aquarium Keepers as well.
Okay. Oh, that's your page? Nice.
Yeah, that's my page. I
Awesome.
post some stuff on there. It's pretty much just about my tank and everything. And I'm on Facebook, Jimmy Pop Colson. And I
Perfect.
post stuff about my tank all the time on there as well.
Yep. Um, Someone's asking, is the mimic tank still in there?
The Mimic, no, what I have in here right now is I've got a Tamini, I've got chocolate, I've got two gems, three purples, three yellows, one black, and one Scopus, one Achilles. That's pretty much all the tings in here. I lost the one Aberrant that I had. He was kind of ugly once I got him in, anyways, but he never took to anything. He just never ate really, And I feed well, and I feed live. I feed all sorts of stuff, and he would never take to anything. And if they don't take
Mm.
to, refrenzy or anything else like that, or
Hmm.
yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Beauty. A couple other people asking about your sump again. Okay, so sump, 500-gallon sump,
Yes,
mainly Clerpa. You do have your remote skimmer. And then
yes.
was there anything else in your sump or just massive amounts of
No,
Clerpa?
just a Biz pump.
Okay.
So you just got the Biz. One chamber over here is just live rock, just to
Hmm.
give me extra live rock. The middle chamber, which is probably about 300 gallons, that's all Chato.
Hmm.
And then the other chamber is just basically where the pump pumps back in. So, and then, yeah, just basically where the dosing is, I had to put a pump that'll spray across the top so it'll break up the alk and
Yep.
calcium when it hits the water so it doesn't just fall.
Hmm.
You have to learn how to jury rig some of this stuff sometimes, but yeah, it's completely full of Caulerpa.
Nice. How often do you take it out of there? Like, how fast does it grow, I guess?
It grows really fast. It slows down now that I put the skimmer on. It
Hmm.
has slowed down. I know it's not getting as much nutrients, but it's good fish food. I harvest it daily. Just throw a
Hmm.
little bit up top, and I
Tang,
never run out. I'll
tanks go
never run
crazy,
out
eh?
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone else asked, what was the big blue stag in the right corner?
In the right corner, big blue. This I don't know this one right there.
Hmm.
That one I don't know the name of it. It's a Bradley Cyphus piece out of Utah.
Nice.
My buddy Devin Berry picked up a little frag, like a 2-inch frag, and now it's about 3 feet. It goes deep back there,
Hmm.
growing against all these other acros and stuff. So yeah, everyone's growing up against each other. There's no space whatsoever. I have to trim stuff back so it doesn't overtake one another.
Oh, I believe it. Okay, another Josh was asking, are you using a heater on that tank?
No, I haven't had to use a heater.
Just.
It stays about 79 to 80 degrees.
Hmm.
In the winter, it'll get down to 78-ish.
Hmm.
So, and then the new tank I just picked up has a 3 horsepower chiller. So I've never, with how many pumps and everything else I have on it, I've never had a problem with it needing a heater. This is Las Vegas, you know, it's pretty warm here.
Now, do you have any cooling issues on this tank?
No, sometimes it'll go up to 81. That's when I get a little bit nervous, and that's when I'll leave everything open for a day or something, and kick on the AC a little cooler. So on the new tank, I'm going to be building a little AC unit connected to it, so it will be able to cool it off at all times too. And I'll have the 3 horsepower chiller. So yeah, there's going to be. I've learned a lot over the years. Like I said, I've been reefing since 1994. I feel like I've got this now. I think I know what I'm going to do on the next one.
Nice. Okay, so what are your lessons learned? Like, what would you do next time differently than you've done now, or what would you wish you have done, or like, what are your lessons learned?
I will glue. This is something that I was told by a lot of friends. I will not put acros so close to each other. I want to write that 500 times so I don't forget that.
It's hard.
Do not put acros so close to each other. Do not put the Sanjay purple sponge in your tank unless you want to be pulling it out all the time. So that's one of the other things that I've learned over the years. I like the feng shui, like the look of having islands. I just wanted too many corals in such a small space that there's no islands anymore.
Yeah.
I've got thousands of pounds of real reef rock in here and Pucani and stuff. So there's about 2,000 pounds of them up top and another like 600 down to 700 in the sump. So there's a lot of live rock, and it's so dense that it's hard to get the flow to go through. So I'm having to add extra flow. So I would say spacing is the major one. People say not to have too many fish. I say bull malarkey, because the fish, basically all them, what they're doing is feeding the corals.
Yep.
So the main thing is just separating the corals, more space, putting things on different levels. Monis, make sure that they're low, because once you put a moni up high, you pretty much lost that section of your tank, or you might as well rip it out. So moni's low, acros high, spacing, islands.
Spacing is hard to do at first, because especially if you start with frags, right? Because you want it to look full and not sparse, but you have to leave that room for growth.
Yes, you have to think about years in advance, because just at Macna, it was just at my sweet spot. I loved exactly how the acros were just growing. Now they've overgrown each other, so I've lost colonies, and like all of a sudden it's RTNing because there's 3 corals growing from different directions on it, and I'm like, okay, I deserve that.
Yeah. All right. So no Sanjay sponge, more spacing between corals. Monty's
yes, that
low.
Sponge right there, that purple sponge. You see that thing?
That looks like a Monty.
Everywhere you look, you see it. Those urchins break pieces off, and then there you see the clove polyps up there. But the urchins will break pieces off, and then it'll float somewhere else. And guess what? Now you got a whole new. They're beautiful. It looks like it's a Monty, like a monopora, plating monopora, but yeah, none of that sponge.
It always looks kind of cool, so don't do it. Good to know.
Yes, and the Efflow, keep your Efflows away from anything else. Efflows are evil acros that want to grow over every other acro you take. You see that bright blue in the back?
Yeah.
That Efflow has overtaken, like right in the back, right in the center. That Efflow has overtaken more colonies than I could ever tell you.
Is Efflow like a tabling acro, or what is Efflow exactly?
It's a tabling acro, and I think that it shouldn't be tabling. It should have horns because it's so evil.
Okay, so it just shades over everybody and tries to take over?
Yes, most definitely. Someone's at the door, beautiful.
Okay, one other quick question. Someone's asking, how do you keep such great colors in your corals?
I think, basically Bena Reef has helped me a lot with that, and a lot of fish too. Honestly, I use the Coral Essentials too. Sometimes I'll dose with a little bit of that stuff as well. So just a mixture of things. Just if you notice something, you're losing a certain color, you're like, hey, I better check this certain parameter on something, then you add it. So just pretty much like that. Sometimes the colors look better to me than they do even now. So it's, right now I'm just nervous about this whole change, and
Yeah, it's always a little bit scary moving to a big tank move because it's always a bit of a big impact on parameters and everything else. But
Yeah, it's gonna move about 15 feet only, so I'm
yeah,
hoping that'll be a big difference.
one thing you could do, like, depends how fast you want to set it up, but start doing like a bit larger water change, but pump your current tank water into the new tank and put fresh water in the tank and
Exactly.
keep moving it in.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to be
Yep.
putting, every time I do the 200-gallon change, I'll be putting the 200 gallons into the new tank.
Hmm.
So over a 2-month time frame, I'm going to mix up most of it, pull the rest out of here, and it'll be cycling with the exact same water. I'll be moving live rock from the sump over there. I'll
Hmm.
be moving, so it'll be taking on all the water from this tank, the live rock. I'll be
Perfect.
throwing chlorpa over there and fish as I go along, and then just letting it go. So
Perfect.
exactly, great
Yep.
minds, man. That's exactly what we're doing. And there's the plan.
Rafiki, $500 F loads of tabling acro that eats more than $500 in coral.
What now? I'm sorry.
Rafiki goes, a $500 F loads of tabling acro that eats more than $500 in coral.
Yes, yes, most definitely. It'll eat your heart to
Mhm.
not do FLOs unless you have space.
Oh, that is awesome. I will avoid that. Beautiful, beautiful tank, man. I'm very excited for your upgrade. It's going to be
Thank you. I'm
awesome.
sorry everyone's getting home now from school and everything.
No worries. Any last tips for newer reefers or anyone striving for that crazy jam-packed acro tank?
Don't give up. Don't let others discourage you. I'm being ridiculed right now about buying this 20-foot tank, and I'm laughing about the things I'm hearing. Believe in what you're doing. If you love this hobby, you can't take it personal. You lose a coral or you lose a fish.
Mhm.
It's going to happen to all of us. But what we're doing is we're basically growing our own little piece of ocean because our oceans aren't the same as they once were. And someday we're the ones that are going to make a difference. I truly
Mhm.
believe that.
Oh
We're
yeah,
going to be the ones that are going to teach them how to do everything.
yep, I'm with you. Well, you will have a small ocean in your house. So you're like,
Uh,
which corals are extinct? Okay, I'll replant that one.
well, thank you
uh,
guys for your time. I
gonna
greatly
be awesome.
appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Your family's home. We're good for today. Thanks so much for coming on today. I appreciate it, and I cannot wait to see this new build. It's gonna be absolutely amazing.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day,
Okay,
guys.
you too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, guys. As always, if you enjoyed that, be sure to hit that like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Jimmy, thank you so much, and I will catch you guys on the next live stream.